According to Maryland's Do Good Institute, fewer Americans are volunteering and giving than at any time in the last 2 decades. The Granite Curling Club of Seattle, Washington needs volunteers to run day-to-day activities, but really struggles to find enough volunteer help.
We need volunteers at GCC to survive. We found that people want to volunteer, they just don't necessarily know how. It's really hard to get things organized well, and I think, like your classic 80-20 rule, we're more like 95-5, where 5% of the people are doing 95% of the work.
Our project goal is to understand and mitigate barriers to volunteering at the Granite Curling Club. We started with formative research through interviews, autoethnographic diary studies, competitive analysis, and literature review. We learned that volunteer activities were ran mostly through word of mouth and impromptu processes for nearly 60 years. When COVID-19 hit, we quickly learned online tools like Zoom and Mural so we could move our project forward without losing momentum. To gain a deeper understanding of our volunteers was achieved through two methods: a club-wide survey which surfaced volunteer sentiments, and a remote participatory design session where volunteers could draw or design their ideal volunteer experience. From there, we translated our research findings into broader design principles. At this point, it didn't make sense to push volunteers into a broken system, so we pivoted to facilitating documentation and repeatable processes for volunteer event coordinators to reduce burden on coordinators and empower new volunteers. We brainstormed ways to overcome barriers to volunteering that we found, and a playbook surfaced as the best artifact to bind together all of the solutions. We felt the playbook was an ideal service design artifact because the structure could bind together the many solutions we had. It could feel fun, it could be clickable for direct access to data, it could easily be shared, and it worked great for documenting common unwritten knowledge. A usability study was conducted where participants were directed to specific sections of the playbook while following Think Out Loud protocol. Note takers captured positive and negative themes in a mural board for quick identification. Overall, the feedback was very positive. Using themes from the usability study, we built formal requirements for the playbook. To accomplish this, the web-based platform GitHub was used so the playbook could be customizable to better match specific voluntary needs for any volunteer organization.
I can see this playbook being used to elevate who we are. We want to be the best curling club in the country, and I think the volunteers are such an important part of that.
We can see this playbook being shared and used by other volunteer organizations to help solve a larger sociological problem.